Hi, I'm Mr. Kangas, and today we're going to take a look at Chapter 6, Section 1, Rates and Ratios. And in particular, in this video, we're going to take a look at unit rates. Unit rates are a rate that is implying, like, for example, per hour, or we're talking about per hour, per minute, per cup, per cookie. We're talking about how much of something per one of something else. So, for example, one of the most common unit rates is miles per hour. If I'm going 55 miles per hour, then every 1 hour I am going 55 miles. And if I'm paying $6 per cookie, okay, it's a really big, expensive cookie. If I'm paying $6 per cookie, then every one cookie is $6. So we're not talking about things like, for example, if I said I went 80 miles in 4 hours, that's not a unit rate, because a unit rate implies per one of something. Okay, so typically with a unit rate, when you talk about it, you'll hear the word per, and you'll say something per hour, per cookie, per bag. So we're talking about one unit. We're talking about unit rates. So when we are asked to find the unit rate of something, we want to know how many per one. So for example, if I told you that I read 60 pages in 35 minutes, and I said find the unit rate, okay? That's me telling you I want to know how many pages I read per minute. Not per 35 minutes, but per minute, per 1 minute. How many pages did I read? So just to do an example, I'm going to change the number a little bit just to make it a little easier to follow along with. I read 60 pages in 15 minutes, and I might ask you, what is the unit rate here? How many pages did I read per minute, in other words? Okay, so what would you do? Well, you're going to take your 60 pages, okay, and if you want to know how many pages you read per minute, you're going to divide your 60 pages by 15. Okay, because what that's going to do is it's going to take the 60 pages and it's going to split it into 15 equal pieces. Okay, and each of those pieces will represent one of these minutes. So if you know how many, and that will tell you how many pages per minute. So for example, 15 goes into 60 4 times. Okay, so that means I read 4 pages per minute. Okay, because what that did is it took my 60 and it split it into 15 pieces. Each of them was 4 minutes. And after all of those 1 minute intervals, okay, went by, I had read 60 pages. So I read 4 pages per minute. Another example might be I paid $5 for 8 sandwiches. Okay. So what would I do? Well, if I wanted to find the unit rate here, I would want to know how much did I pay per sandwich. So I'm going to take my $5, okay, and I'm going to split it into 8 equal pieces. So I'm going to take my $5 and divide it by 8, which will require me to put a 0.00 here, okay, so I can get a decimal answer. So I'm going to take my $5 and split it into 8 pieces, so I know how much money I paid per sandwich, because each of these pieces here, each of these 8 pieces represents one of my 8 sandwiches. So if I split my $5 into 8 equal pieces, then I'll know how much I paid per sandwich. So 8 goes into 5 0 times. 8 goes into 50 6 times. Okay. 8 goes into 20 twice. 8 goes into 40 5 times. Now, if you are going to get a decimal answer for your unit rate, then I don't expect you to go more than 3 places over. If the decimal continues on after that, I just ask you to stop at the 3rd decimal point. So what this has told me is that essentially I have paid 63 cents per sandwich. The reason why I say 63 cents is because I got 0.625 for my unit rate for per sandwich. But when we're talking about money, you don't pay 62.5 cents, okay, or 62.5 cents. You always, cents never goes more than 2 places over. So what I did was I rounded, since the 5 is 5 or above, we round the 2 to a 3, and we get 63 cents per sandwich. Okay, so less than $1 per sandwich. So again, I took the $5, divided it by my 8 sandwiches, and now I know that I paid about 63 cents per sandwich. So that's unit rates and how you find them. Again, make sure you show all your work on the worksheets if you're one of my students. And if you have any questions, let me know. The next video is going to be on converting rates using dimensional analysis. Those problems are a little bit more complicated, and that video will be a little bit longer than this one. So tune in for that when you get to the 3rd section of the worksheet.